This is a video by Rich Ben. Today we're working on a Chevy Cobalt. This happens to be a 2005 model. And what we're doing today is we are removing the ignition, lock cylinder, and housing. First thing we want to do is disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery. Then wait about a half an hour to make sure that it's safe to remove the airbag. Now to remove the airbag, there are two small holes on both sides of the airbag, and if you look right down here, there's one of them right there. Okay, and we'll stick a probe in there to release the airbag, and that's what we'll do right now. Now I'm going to be using a 3/16 punch, and you can see it's pretty long, what, about 1.5 inches? There's that one. And there's that one. I'll get up a close look at it so you can see what's going on there. Here's the mechanism right here, and I'll take this punch, go in through the hole right there, and you can see there's a little guide, and then you have to fish for that spring right there, and then once you find it and you push down, you can see that the spring moves out of the way, and that will relieve the airbag. Okay, now we want to disconnect our wires. Get these little locks out of the way. There's that one, and that one. Okay, so airbag is all out of the way. Next thing we want to do is loosen the nut that holds the steering wheel on. Now move the steering wheel so the wheels of the car are straight forward, and the steering wheel will be all the way in its normal position. I can't do this one because it's in the lock position. I don't have the key. So we want to bring the nut out to about parallel to the end of the shaft there. And it should be a 21 millimeter. Alright, now let's see how tight this one is. Okay, we're going to have to use the puller on that. Get our special GM legs there. There it is. Just lost my socket. Okay. It's all loose. Now before we can take the wheel off, we have to disconnect this bundle of wires right here with the blue lock on it. It's a little tab. Just pry that just like that. Take the nut off like that. And of course we want the clock spring to stay right where it is. Next thing we want to do is tape our clock spring so it doesn't move on us. And then we want to remove these 4 Phillips head screws that secure it. Actually, this one's only got 3 because somebody busted it. It would be me, right? No, I don't think so. Now, we want to remove the wire. Let me get closer so you can see that. We want to remove this one right here with the blue lock on it. Okay, we got that out of the way. So now we can move the clock spring out a little bit. Alright, so we got the clock spring moved out here so we can get this one right here. We want to pry this red lock out of the way. Okay, there we go. So now our clock spring is off. Now I'm going to put a link in the bottom of this video and it will show you how to remove the covers right here, top and bottom, that were not on this one. I've already done. And how to remove the switches right here. So that will be in the description below. Next thing we need to do is to remove this plastic housing that supported the clock spring and the multi-function switches. Now if we look right back here, where are you? Can you see that little tab right there? Oops, damn it. See if I can get back here to show you. That little tab right there, see it? Get your screwdriver underneath there. Pry outward. And then, let me see if I can do this. Can I pull it out? No. I need 3 hands for this so I can put the camera down. Hold on. Alright, now. Holy crap, jeez. Pop the other one out too. I'll show you. There's another one on the other side. Normally you gotta pry that one out too, right here. Pry that one out just like that. And then when you do that, the sucker comes right off. Beautiful, huh? Hey, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We can actually see things now. What the heck? Someone took the ignition switch out of this one. Ah, jeez. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Well, at least I can show you how to get it off there now. Now, if there was an ignition switch on here, which all of them have been taken off, you're going to have to disconnect your wires before you take the lock cylinder housing out of the way right here. All right. So just make sure you do that. You'll be all set. Next thing we need to do is to remove the shear bolt right here that holds the housing on. I'm using a small chisel. Let's see if we can move that by hand. Yeah, we can. Of course, if you're replacing this, you'll have to get another bolt. Bolt is almost out. There's the bolt. If you're going to replace it, you'll probably need a new one, or you can probably find something close. That looks like a 8mm 1.25 pitch. Not positive on that. 3/4 of an inch long or so. Take the bracket off. Right there. Make sure you turn your ignition key into the run position to retract the locking pin, and it should come right off. Alright, now we got some other wires here. And we got a little lock here. Locks everywhere. And we got another one here. Finally, here is our ignition, lock cylinder, and housing, minus the ignition switch, which everyone seems to have taken on these. So this is the baby that likes to turn the ignition off while you're driving down the road on these Cobalts. Okay, we got her out. So that's all there is to removing a ignition, lock cylinder, and housing on a Chevy Cobalt.